Welcome back to West Texas View.
So if you're above in your test, whether it's the A1C or you're taking this little weight test to get your BMI, tell me what happens if you say, all right, I've got this. Now, does that mean I'm pre-diabetic?
Okay. Prediabetes is something brand new that we've started talking about a year or two ago. Prediabetes is when your sugars are about 100, maybe 110, 120. It's not good. It's not diabetes, but it's not good. That's called prediabetes.
And it's heading in the wrong direction.
If you have prediabetes and don't do anything, 70% of everybody will develop type 2 diabetes. If you have prediabetes and you say, gee, I think I'll mend my ways, drop the weight, get off my butt, start doing stuff, it can be prevented. So this is one time, when you can be better than Miss Cleo at predicting the future. And so just do an A1C test. Numbers aren't really that important. Your doctor should know them, but if you're between about 5'7", 6'4", that's a hard number to remember for A1C. Just know that there is a little cut point that says if your A1C is in this range, you are at risk. And the good news is you can prevent it from progressing. And if you do nothing, it will progress.
And once you get diabetes, a full-blown case of diabetes, there are so many things that can go wrong. So we certainly want to prevent it, and that's one of the things we're talking about. But there's also some good news. I noticed that you are really involved in research, and so tell us some of the new things that are going on besides telling people to hide their spoon and start exercising.
What is there? Gee, I thought that was the only. No, that's not true. There's a couple of.
But that's the sensible way.
I know. There's a couple of medicines you can use. By the way, I learned something. This is a little off the topic. When you text and they have that LOL? Everybody writes that after a sentence. You know what that really stands for? Living on Lipitor. But anyway, as far though then as diabetes goes, or prevention of diabetes, metformin is an old standby for treating it, but we also use it in prevention. It's not as good as losing weight, but it's not bad. Then there's a couple of brand new drugs that have come out. I think we'll talk a little bit more later on about something called Qsemia. Really, it's a new pill made of two old-fashioned drugs. It's the old-fashioned phentermine, which suppresses the appetite, and an old medicine, topiramate, which we used to use for headaches, which kills cravings. So they mix the two together, two old medicines that we now call a new pill, Qsemia. And then there's another one, Lorcasein, which has also come out. So there's a couple of new weight loss pills. I said, we'll discuss those a little bit more later.
And so when do you recommend, as a doctor, when do you recommend that they go to the pill? Is it when you've seen that they just absolutely cannot lose weight?
I might be a little bit behind the times, but I really don't use pills as a first line. If you work with a diabetes educator, if you're on a program, if you are really interested in losing weight, i.e. hide the spoon,
understand why
you will lose weight, but you may plateau. So if you can show me some progress, then I'll use those to help you get the rest of the way. If you're not going to do your part, I'm not going to give you pills.
Good. That's a good answer. Well, I want to ask you some true and false questions.
Okay.
Because these are things that I've heard over the years. And the first one is that if you're a diabetic, you just can't eat sugar. That true or false?
That's false.
Okay.
The energy molecule that we use, I don't care what you eat, turns into sugar somehow, because sugar's our energy molecule. So can you eat sugar? Of course. The real question should be, if I have diabetes, how much? And should I eat fat? Should I eat carbs? Those are the killer ones.
And what
so it's not that you have to go sugar-free. Oh, I can't have sugar. I can't put a teaspoon of sugar in my coffee. Now, it's all how much, and cut the fat, cut the carbs. You know, you can have diabetes. I don't care really what you eat. There's nothing magic. You know, there's no theory of lettuce and carrots that says if you break this commandment, you die. Life has to be livable. You can eat what you want,
but
cut
in
the
moderation.
carb, cut the fat. Yeah. Now, for me, I used to be a fat boy. And
You used to be a fat. I can't
I think
believe
I have
that.
to confess something a little later on in our talk here, but and you know, there's nothing worse than a reformed fat boy. Okay.
Reformed smoker.
Yeah, reformed smoker, reformed drink. Oh God, there's a lot of things we're not going to talk about. Okay, but just using, you know, common sense really will get you a long ways down the road. And this kind of highlights, isn't there a difference between simple and easy? It's real simple, but it happens to be hard to do. Yeah, it ain't easy.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a great point. Okay, true or false? Diabetes is a disease that causes heart attacks and strokes.
True.
True.
True. Remember a few minutes ago I
Yes,
said,
yes.
you know, most people say diabetes, think sugar, and when I think diabetes, you know, what was it that came to my mind? It was a code word for heart attack, it was a code word for stroke, it's a code word for nerve damage to the eyes,
Yes.
kidneys, amputations.
And that's why you have to have
Right.
your feet amputated, is because you have no nerves
Yeah.
down in your lower extremities or circulation.
So remember that, you know, diabetes isn't just, oh, I'll take some insulin or I'll swallow this pill or that pill and fix the sugars. The reason you're really doing it, because you don't want to have a heart attack, a stroke, or be a cripple.
Or to be in a unconscious state for a long time because you had a stroke. Now, true or false? Insulin is the last step in treating the disease.
I think this depends on who you talk to. For me, no, that's false. See, I trained up north when I was learning endocrinology and little diabetes and stuff like that, up in Minnesota and at the Mayo Clinic. And think about it, you know, insulin's a natural product. You can think of it as a health
That's right.
food.
It's produced by your
Yeah,
pancreas.
yeah. Insulin can actually be used at any point.
Well, we're going to have to take a break. We're going to be back in just a minute and continue this conversation. See you in just a minute.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.